An Eyewitness News exclusive. A frightening new warning tonight about the deadly dangers of fentanyl. It's being laced in other drugs, from Xanax to even marijuana. And children as young as 14 are overdosing. CBS 47's Jennifer Ortega sat down with a detective who's part of the Valley's FORT team. It's a life-saving operation on a mission to slow down fentanyl usage and sales in Fresno. Jennifer joins us now live in studio, and Jen, they say the fentanyl has become the new heroin.
It really has. Detectives say fentanyl in the Valley is here to stay, that it could become more popular than heroin. They say now it's about stopping the momentum and educating our youth.
When it all comes down to it, it's all about greed and making money. And the cartels are making money off the backs of our kids dying and overdosing.
Detective Dean Carnelli is on Fresno's FORT team. He's one of 10 officers undercover, trying to track down where the fentanyl and laced drugs are coming from.
I get calls all times of the day and night, so and once we get those calls, we get a team together and we go out to the house or the hospital, wherever the victim might be, and we start the case right from there.
The FORT team formed in 2020. It's an acronym for Fentanyl Overdose Resolution Team, after he says the amount of overdoses skyrocketed between the ages of 14 and 21 years old.
We were responding out to like 2 to 4 overdoses a week with kids between that age group.
He says now they're seeing fentanyl mixed in a variety of drugs.
In cocaine, in methamphetamine. We've had some cases here in the United States where it was actually laced in marijuana.
Detective Carnelli says if you don't die the first time, the drug is highly addictive. His team responding to 84 fentanyl overdoses in Fresno in 2020. 34 turned out to be deadly.
And I'm sure we're going to surpass that in 2022 because of the amount of fentanyl that's coming into Fresno. At
the beginning of April, 18 people were charged in Fresno County after a string of overdoses involving fentanyl and methamphetamine trafficking, an Operation Killer High. But Fresno County District Attorney Lisa Smitkamp says the penalties for most illegal substances in California have been reduced to misdemeanors. That's why they're working with their federal and local partners.
We really work collaboratively to not only try to prosecute some of these cases federally, where we really can get some serious sentences for the people who are dealing these drugs, but we're also very heavily engaged in an education and awareness campaign.
A campaign in schools, on billboards, and even in hospitals across the Valley, bringing awareness to the dangers of this silent killer.
The harder it is, the harder I work. Nobody takes an M30 pill or a Xanax pill that could potentially be laced with one of these, with fentanyl, to die. They just want to feed their addiction.
And as fentanyl burns through the younger population, kids are using social media to talk about it and buy it.
As a county prosecutor, as a state prosecutor, I don't have a lot of tools. If we have a very fruitful investigation, yes, we are going to start to proceed on murder charges, murder by poison. But those cases are very difficult to prove because you have to compile a tremendous amount of evidence to prove that the person who sold them engaged in a poisoning act or had an intentional disregard for human life. And those are high standards to achieve.
But Detective Carnelli says fentanyl is not slowing down. Smitkamp says it's become public enemy #1.
I don't think we can actually clean up fentanyl coming into it. It's too late.
This is my #1 priority right now, is fentanyl education and awareness, because it is an instant and silent killer for kids and young adults.
And they're working on trying to get Narcan in school so school nurses will be able to respond to a situation if a child does overdose. Live in the studio, Jennifer Ortega, CBS 47 Eyewitness News.